welcome to the Pagan Perspective. My name is Angel and I am your Friday host. And today, instead of answering a question, we're going to do a little DIY. In the Northern Hemisphere, we're approaching Samhain and Beltane in the Southern Hemisphere. So we're going to do a kind of DIY project that is relevant to either of these holidays. It can be cooking, baking, decorative, ritual-related, clothing, gifts, whatever. So, during this time of year, I like to do my spell stars. I'm also doing some other shapes as gifts for Samhain, for my coven. And it's real simple. I'm going to just tell you really quick what I'm going to do, and then do a short little video on how I do it. And yeah, but it's really simple. And all you need is cinnamon and unsweetened applesauce. And yeah, so let's see how it's done. Okay, everybody, so when you're doing spell stars, the first thing you want to do is remove any jewelry from your hands, because this can get really messy. Then I like to put down some wax paper to roll out what's going to be your dough on here. You're going to need the following. You're going to need a bowl and some sort of mixing utensil. You're going to need cinnamon, ground cinnamon. I have quite a bit here. You're going to need your shapes. Here's a goddess, which it kind of looks like a lobster. Some stars, and the very, very iconic witchy hat. And you're going to need unsweetened, make sure it's unsweetened applesauce. You don't want to attract any bugs. You're also going to need a little rolling pin to roll out your what's going to be your dough. Now, this recipe is basically mixed to texture. So you're going to pour a bunch of this in and add the unsweetened applesauce until it becomes like a dough. And then you'll roll it out as thick as you want it. You'll cut out your shapes, much like you do with cookies. And what you're also going to need, which I don't have over here, is a drying rack. Now, I highly suggest that if your dough is on the wetter side, that you leave it on the wax paper to dry a little bit before you put it on the drying rack, or it'll have little bars through it. If you make it too dry, it'll crack. So just try to make it in the middle and just leave it on here for an hour or two and then put it on the drying rack. It will take some time to dry, so make sure that you have an area that will be undisturbed, that's not really in the sun, or in an area that's going to dry it out too quickly. And that way it can sit there and dry. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mix this up with the cinnamon and the applesauce. And once it's done, I will come back and show you the texture. Okay, everybody, so here is, I don't think, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay, so here's the dough. It's a little wetter than I wanted, but you can see that it's very doughy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically roll out some, I'm going to cut out my shapes. And you do this just like you would cookies or anything like that. So this stuff, when you look at the texture, like, see how it's a little bit wetter? It's kind of sticking to my fingers a little bit. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put some cinnamon down here, like so. What's wrong with that? Okay. You're going to want to put cinnamon on here, kind of like you would powder when you're rolling out like dough for bread. And you're just going to want to put it out like this. Because once you put your, when you put your dough on here, you want to be able to pull it off of the wax paper easy enough and put it on your drying rack. So I'm going to cut out all my my shapes now. And so you can see what I've done. Also, what you're going to need is a toothpick. Because what you can do with these is before they dry, you want to put a toothpick through like the top of the star or the top of the hat or whatever, because once they dry, you can put like a string through them. You can hang them in your car. You can hang them on your Yule tree. You can hang them wherever you want because they smell really good. Remember, this is cinnamon. It's also very protective. So you could hang it around your house as a protection as well. There's lots of different uses for these. I will list some things below, and I'm also going to put a link to a YouTube channel that I found this at, and many of you may know her. Some of you may not. Her name is Charming Pixie Flora. I've watched her for years. I love her. She does cool stuff like this, and this is where I found this whole thing out. I'm sure there's other places on the internet people who do this kind of stuff, but this is where I found it. So I'll put a link down to that video below as well. All right, we'll come back in a moment. Okay, everybody, so it was quite a messy job. I kind of forgot. And a couple things I want to say. When you are doing the dough that you're making, make sure you put plenty of cinnamon on top and on the bottom so it comes off really easy and doesn't stick to your hands. And then you can see I made the little witchy hats, the spell stars, the goddesses. Now the goddesses, I didn't put the hole through the head because it seemed kind of not right to do that. And I'm concerned that hanging these, the arms will come off and everything like that. So I just kept them like flat. I did put some holes up here in the hats and in the spell star. So let me take you in a closer look. You can see the hole that I put here, and over here there's more hats and goddesses and stars. And basically I'm just gonna leave them on this wax paper probably overnight, and then I will move these all to dry, like cooling racks, and I'm gonna probably put them in my basement craft room down there because the cats won't bother them and anything until they're completely dry. And that's what they look like. And it's a really cool little craft to do for Samhain or Yule. You can do any kind of shapes you want. You just, find whichever shapes you want to do and do that. These are the ones I like. I recently got the little witchy hats, which I love the little witchy hats. And yeah, so that's it. That's my little thing I like to do this time of year. And they're cool little gifts, especially if you put little holes in them, and people can hang them in their cars, on their Yule trees, in their kitchen windows, or wherever. So it smells really, really good. And they do keep their scent for a very long time. I had a spell star in my car, one of my cars, for I think like 2 years before it stops, the cinnamon stops, having that really great rich scent. All right, so that's it. Hope everybody enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please leave them down below and I'll be happy to answer them. Until next time, I hope everybody has a great rest of the week and an awesome weekend, and talk to you later. Blessed be. Bye.